Hello, guys. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Today, our first story from the user Cold2, and it is called Seeking Advice on Ending My M25 Long-Term, 9+ Years, Relationship with My Partner, F24. Story, as the title suggests, I am seeking advice regarding breaking up with my long-term partner. A brief insight on our relationship. Myself, M25, and my girlfriend, F24, have known each other for roughly 9.5 years. She has never dated or gotten close with anyone else that I know of, whereas I've had a couple of brief relationships or connections with other women. I believe that for at least the second half of the time we have known each other, I have constantly been questioning our relationship to different extents and for different reasons. Now, we were on and off throughout those 9 years and have gone through many breakups which never lasted. Sometimes we only discussed breaking up. Other times it was just a break. Generally, we separated for a week or two, with the longest period apart being over a year. We believe that this current period of dating has been our longest one without any breaks. We're now at roughly a year and a half. I am at a stage now where I believe that our relationship has finally run its course. This is the surest I have ever felt about this, but I'm still struggling to go through with it. Thus, I decided to write this post to ask advice regarding anything that I mentioned below. Edit. My first issue is simply that I don't know how to actually set my mind to it. I have been thinking about this extensively for a very long time, from a multitude of perspectives, revising our history and current state, and have ultimately come to the conclusion that this relationship is not what I want, and it is not right for me. I have even gone past the stage of making up excuses in my head to delay this. That is, let's first try this, let's just try to ignore it, upcoming holidays, events, etc. And yet I still can't seem to force myself to go through with it. My biggest concern is how to lead up to the breakup. Every single breakup previously, one of the things that hurt her the most is that she didn't see it coming. And reading online, it does suggest to try to find ways to lead up to the breakup instead of just dropping a bomb on the person unexpectedly. However, I have no idea how to do this. I find my girlfriend to be very difficult to talk to about our relationship. She is extremely insecure, and whenever I try to initiate a chat about any sort of relationship issues that I want to address, she instantly begins to worry that I'm about to break up with her. I don't doubt this is at least partly due to all the breakups we have gone through in the past. I believe that I initiated them all. But because of this, I have no idea how to lead up or ease into the breakup conversation without her instantly knowing what's coming. Online, I read that one way of doing this is to show discontent with the current relationship. But I am not sure how to do this, especially since we argue a lot and I don't want to cause any unnecessary fights. Neither of us have the energy for it. Our communication has never been the greatest, but it has somewhat improved over time, and we have some good and some bad days in terms of communication. How can I then show that I am not happy with the relationship if discussing my reasons for not being happy, aka the same reasons for the breakup, has high chances of either leading to an argument or her realizing that I'm about to end the relationship, aka a surprise? In regards to the actual breakup conversation in the past, I have almost always found myself at one stage or another bursting into tears. Without exaggeration, breaking up with her has literally been the second most difficult thing I ever had to do. The most difficult thing was having to inform her of the death of an extremely close member of her family while we were abroad for our anniversary. I understand that breaking up is generally difficult on both parties, especially since we both love each other, albeit I don't see it as romantic love anymore. My question is, does crying and getting extremely emotional in front of her during the breakup have a negative impact on the whole situation? Does this make it more difficult and hurtful for her? Should I attempt to hold back the tears? Lastly, one of the questions that she always asked repeatedly during previous breakups was, "But why?" regardless of my answer, or repeatedly saying, "I just don't understand." I know that she is getting overwhelmed with emotions during the process. But is there any way I can reply to questions or statements like the ones above? especially when they're just being repeated over and over regardless of my answer. I appreciate anyone who took the time to read my post and all those who will try to help me in the comments. I promise I will read them all and attempt to reply when I get a chance. Any support, ideas, or feedback are highly appreciated. Thank you. Comment. How can one be so indecisive? Why deceive your partner of 9.5 years? The longer the relationship lasts, the more painful the breakup. You don't become any younger, and our lives aren't eternal. Make a decision as soon as possible, and you both will have more time and chances to meet your destiny. Update. Thank you for the comments. I have made a decision and told my girlfriend that we are breaking up. Yes, it was painful. We both cried. I hope I won't regret my decision in the future. I plan to put my life on hold, go on vacation, and then start looking for a new partner. Second story from the user Moist Pay, 1167, and it is called IF20. Need some advice on what to do with my boyfriend, M26. IDK whether to end it or work something out. Story 2. We have been dating for just about 2 years and a couple months. We both live together with my mom have been for about 3 months now. When we first got together, he told me he don't watch porn and didn't have a porn addiction. I had asked him specifically, BC. I just knew some men have porn addictions. I already knew how I felt about that type of stuff, which it makes me uncomfortable and makes me feel insecure about how I look and perform in bed. As our relationship continues, this is about 6 months in. One day I go to his after class and was bringing him a Slurpee CS. Why not? I wanted to see him and I didn't tell him I was coming over and
I'm knocking and knocking. I think he was asleep and he finally woke up and he led me down to his basement at First BC. They have a living area down there to watch TV and stuff. We sit down. I told him I need to charge my phone and that I'll go grab it from his room. I walk in there not noticing the TV at first. I turn around and there a whole ass vagina on the screen. He comes up and my first reaction was to just pure anger and ran out, and I didn't want anything to do with him. In fact, I was disgusted. I didn't know what to do, whether to break up with him or not. I decided not to leave.
He told he wasn't going to do it again, and still insisting that he doesn't have an addiction, and I believed him. Later to come find out he does have an addiction that he admitted to, and the second time I found out I tried to come to some sort of terms and a different approach. I was sending him my own explicit pictures so that he could jack off to those. But that failed miserably. I don't even think he looks at them. Then he's back to watching the porn. I was like, okay, I know how this shit works. BC. I was once addicted to porn when I was around 13. 14, I didn't like how it made me feel after, and eventually stopped and haven't been back since. So I kind of felt for him, and I felt bad for him, like he was just stuck in the rabbit hole of porn. He told me he genuinely wanted to stop, and he felt as though it was consuming him, and then the type of porn he was watching just got me questioning who he is, and it's disturbing and leaves me confused, SF. I decided to try and be patient, and I thought if we went to church more, got out, more went on dates more, I thought all that would help, but it didn't. It also doesn't help that he has anxiety and depression. He hasn't been diagnosed, but I believe he does suffer from both. I encouraged him to seek help many of times, and just letting him know that I'm there. But it's also hard to be there when all I can think about is what he's doing when he's alone, when I'm at work or school, and what's he's hiding. He's at home a lot now because he first was laid off from this lawn care company for the winter. Then he applied for Amazon during the winter working third shift, and that definitely did not help our dynamic. If anything, it made us more irritable. DWEA other BC, we weren't really spending time together. He gets fired from there, and he completely spirals. I have never seen him this depressed, and it breaks my heart, but at the same time, he's taking his anger and frustration out on me, sometimes not physically, but verbally sometimes, or he'll just take off. And when I have a problem with something or show a sign of irritation from anything he did, he gets a really big attitude and kind of just shuts me out. He's been constantly asking me if I'm okay, BC. He knows something is off, W me. But the way he goes about it is just so annoying, like he gets mad at me for being irritated at the things he's doing. The reason he is asking me if I'm okay is, BC, Just today, I found some random girl's ass pics in his phone. His camera roll said it was saved from Twitter. I was just shattered when I seen this. I haven't brought it up to him yet. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. It's just all getting too much for me. My heart hurts, BC. It's torn and IDK what to do anymore if I should break up W him. BC, I really am fed up and now I kinda just feel numb and defeated to it all, if that makes sense. Like it bothers me, but I'm not so sure I can leave. I feel like he's going to hurt himself if I do BC of his depression. He's not a bad guy and I love him dearly and care very much about him and his mental state, and he tries, but sometimes it seems like he's not trying hard enough for me with fighting his porn addiction, finding a better, higher-paying job, and not just settling to go see his kids. He has twin girls who are 3, I believe, in a different state where he is originally from. Or just try to get up out that grave he built himself, and I'm trying to pick him up and encourage him and carry him financially, but I can only do so much, and I feel exhausted. To make matters worse, I currently go to a community college, and I plan on going to a university an hour away from where I live now in the fall. This was my plan before I met boyfriend. I already told him this plan before we got serious. He is really anxious about this for us, I can tell. He said he has been cheated on before by someone in college, and that it didn't work out. I had planned to move into a dorm, but that's not going to work financially, and then my friend told me about these apartments. I could get WW her. At first he did not want to move with me. He felt as though there was nothing for him out there, so I was going to move in with my best friend. Recently we talked about it more, and now he does want to move with me and find our own apartment down there. But I'm not so sure if I'm excited for that. I worry that we won't be able to afford it. And I'll be worried about how these bills are going to be paid. It seems like he can't really keep a job for long before something goes left, and he's the type of person who needs lots of reassurance and attention and lots of time spent together. And there's nothing wrong with you that I love that, but something it gets a lot. Like I already can sense there is going to be problems when I go to this school. Like me wanting to attend the school activities, and he's going to be at home worried if I'm cheating on him. He overthinks a lot. And my past doesn't help CS. He can't seem to let go of things I've done before we even got together. I don't know if I should just do this on my own or what. I just feel bad and selfish and like I wasted his time if I break stuff off now. He said if we don't work out, he's moving back to where he came from, and I really don't want him to move. But then I feel like that's what may be best for him, and maybe rekindle a relationship with his kids is what I really want to see. And that will maybe help him stop being so depressed. I'm just not quite sure how to tell him I want to do this on my own. If you made it this far, thank you. I know that was a lot. Story 2. Comment 1 from user Le Sonruara. I'm sorry to hear you are going through this. I want you to know you are not at fault and you are worth something and are loved. It sounds like he doesn't want to change like you did. He can't change for you. He needs to do it for himself. It sounds like he doesn't want to. If he did, he'd take actionable steps to make a change. He's not. He's making excuses. I would give him an ultimatum. It's either the porn or it's me. You can't have both. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but it sounds like you've been more than patient with his behavior. Good luck, and I am thinking of you. Story 2. Comment 2 from user Silvafox. I'll make it super easy for you. Take everything you just put on the internet for strangers to read and talk to him about it. If he doesn't want to listen, move on. Don't ask girls either. They, being girls, will automatically side with you and convince you everything is his fault, even if it's not. Talking about your feelings, listening, and compromise, meeting in the middle, are literally the 3 biggest things you absolutely must do with your significant other for a relationship to work. It is required 1000%. If neither one of you can do that, don't be in a relationship. Now go talk to him. Update. Thank you. I feel like I can't communicate. RNBC. I'll just get angry and go mute, but when I calm down, I hope I can get my point across this time to him. He's basically blaming me for everything and why I didn't help him sooner, and that I'm giving up on him. Thank you for your attention, for following our story. I am grateful for every moment we have experienced together, for the challenges that made us stronger, and for the joys that made our life complete. I look forward to your comments. It truly means a lot to me. Do you believe that you can love someone else's child as much as your own? If you enjoyed the story, Subscribe to my channel and like the video. I appreciate your support. Until our next meetings and new stories, gratitude and much love.